Willie, how much further is it to the Adventurers Guild? It's right there, that big building. The building Willie pointed to was a large 3-story structure. It looked about 5 times the size of the surrounding buildings. There were quite a few adventurers near the entrance, seemingly waiting for something. Maybe they were meeting up. We went inside right away. The reception desk is over there. Sure enough, there were 2 reception desks. At one, a staff member and an adventurer were talking across the counter. We went to the empty one. A young female staff member sat at the desk. "Excuse me, I'd like to register as an adventurer. Is this the right place?" "Yes. Are both of you registering?" "Yes, it's the 2 of us, she and I." "In that case, please fill out these forms." Darn it, I can still only write and read numbers and my own name and Cleria's. "I'll fill out Alan's part," Cleria said. "All right, thanks." Cleria smoothly filled out both forms. She was using a fake name. I wondered if that would be an issue. Well, in a world without IDs, there's no way to verify it. It's probably fine. I really need to learn how to read and write. If someone could read a few books aloud in front of me, nanomes should be able to remember them. I wonder where books are sold. Cleria finished writing and handed the forms to the staff member. The staff member skimmed the forms. After a surprised look, she began to stare at Cleria and me. Is this correct?" the staff member asked Cleria, pointing at an item on the form. "It's correct. Was there something wrong with the paperwork?" "Understood. Then, for guild registration, a fee of 5 silver coins per person will be required." I handed the staff member 1 large silver coin for both of us. "Confirmed. Both of you will now take a rank evaluation test. The rank evaluation test is to assess your abilities as adventurers. Your rank will be determined by the content of the test. Do you need an explanation about ranks?" Cleria and I nodded. The Adventurers Guild receives various requests. They're diverse, ranging from escorts to monster subjugation to material gathering. The Guild reviews the content of these requests and assigns a rank based on their difficulty. To efficiently complete these requests, we also assign ranks to adventurers, and adventurers are expected to take requests appropriate for their adventurer rank. Both request ranks and adventurer ranks are divided into 7 stages, from lowest to highest: F, E, D, C, B, A, and S. This means an F rank adventurer, the lowest rank, can only accept requests up to E rank. Is that clear so far? Wow, she rattled that off in one go. She must have said it hundreds of times. "No problem," Cleria said, nodding. "Next, about requests. Regular requests are posted on that wall over there." We looked where the staff member pointed, and indeed, the entire wall was covered in what looked like requests, with many adventurers intently checking their contents. You tell us which request you'd like from those posted, and if there are no issues, you can accept it. Requests are first come, first served. Once you accept a request, you must complete it by the specified deadline. There are penalties for not completing a request by the deadline. The content of the penalty will be reviewed and decided by us here. In addition to regular requests, there are also nominated requests. These are requests where the client specifically names an adventurer. It's up to the adventurer whether to accept or decline. Then there are mandatory requests. These are issued by the Guild during disasters or similar situations. These generally cannot be refused. Refusing one is a serious violation of Guild regulations and will incur severe penalties. Also, adventurers are required to accept at least 1 request every 2 months. Violation of this will result in a demotion of 1 adventurer rank. F-rank adventurers who violate this will be expelled. Is that clear so far? "No problem," Cleria said, nodding. "I'll go prepare for the rank evaluation test now, so please read the Guild regulations posted on that wall over there. I've explained the important regulations, but other detailed rules are written there." Understood. Cleria and I headed towards the wall with the regulations. The wall was densely covered with text. The font size was just readable. This is good. I'll have Cleria read it aloud. "Cleria, could you read these regulations aloud for me? In a low voice is fine." "What for?" "I'm trying to learn the characters, please." "You can learn them that way?" "I can. You can read quickly." "Okay." Cleria began to read. Receptionist Amy had someone else take over her desk and headed to the staff room. In the staff room, it was still early morning, and there were 5 male staff members. Everyone, we have some rare big-shot newcomers, though they're self-proclaimed, of course. Again, Amy? It's always those self-deluded types who turn out to be incredibly weak. No, one of them is an exceptionally cute Earl. What? That's unusual. Then I'll be in charge of the girl. Even though she's a girl, she's wearing impressive armor, like a knight, Amy said. So, what kind of big-shot newcomers are they? The girl has a sword skill of 7 out of 10, and get this, her fire magic is 8 out of 10. No way! Even for a self-declaration, that's way too exaggerated. No, the other guy is even more amazing. His sword skill is 10 out of 10, and his fire magic is also 10. Haha, that's incredible. How many years has it been since we've had someone so deluded? Both of them can use magic? You made sure to tell them about the test, right? How rude. I certainly did, Amy retorted. Well then, they should at least be able to use some magic. If even half of that is true, they'd be truly big-shot newcomers, but that's probably not the case. Didn't he say he couldn't read? No, the girl wrote on behalf of both of them, and her handwriting was incredibly elegant, and she wrote incredibly fast. There's no way she can't read. All right, let's all go take a look, just for the story. I'll handle the girl. Just as Claria was about to finish reading the regulations, the staff member returned. Thank you for waiting. The rank evaluation test is ready. Please come this way. Whew, I'm tired, Claria said. Sorry about that. You really helped me out. After the update, when I looked at the regulations, I could read them perfectly. Good. Now I just need more books. Oh, Willie, sorry, but could you wait for us? Understood. We were led to another large building next to the guild. It was a spacious room, 30 meters long, 20 meters wide, and 10 meters high. More like an arena than a room. At the back of the room, there were many targets lined up. There were 5 men who appeared to be staff members there. We are the examiners who will conduct your evaluation test. Your specialty is swordsmanship, correct? For the swordsmanship evaluation, you will spar against us with wooden swords. Listen, this isn't about winning or losing. Losing doesn't lower your evaluation. We will evaluate you based on your approach to the test, so give it your all. First, Rhea, step forward. Good luck, Rhea. Okay. Rhea was handed a wooden sword by the examiner who was presumably her opponent. He was a man in his 30s. They seemed to be starting at an appropriate distance. Ready? Begin. Both stood still, holding their wooden swords. Rhea seemed to be looking for an opening. The examiner stepped forward and feinted, trying to draw her out, but Rhea didn't budge. The examiner, perhaps confident, slowly closed the distance to Rhea. Once he was close enough, he raised his wooden sword high, probably intending to bait her. Ah, the moment I thought, at that distance, if you show Rhea something like that, Rhea charged in. The examiner had no choice but to bring his sword down, but of course, Rhea had anticipated that and quickly dodged sideways, and her rapid attacks began. The examiner was already off balance from his wide swing, and with the relentless flurry of attacks, his posture steadily worsened. Finally, his wooden sword was struck on the forearm, and he dropped it. The flurry of attacks stopped with the wooden sword pressed against his neck. That's enough. Rhea had been teaching Beck and Thor how to wield a sword during our journey, but she hadn't been constantly with them. In her spare time, while Beck and Thor were practicing their swings, she'd been begging me to train with her. The only sword techniques I know are rapid attacks and combos. It's all about striking as fast as possible. It can't be helped. That kind of fighting style was popular at my school. If you didn't fight that way, you couldn't join the conversations with your friends. Reluctantly, I taught Claria rapid attacks. We endlessly practiced with me intentionally showing openings and Claria charging in to deliver a barrage of strikes. Thanks to that, I think my defense improved quite a bit. The examiner's movements were exactly the kind I often used against Claria. There was no way Claria wouldn't react to that. That examiner might have underestimated Claria a little too much. All right, well done. Next, we'll assess your magic skill. The examiner who had been leading the session announced.
We move to the targets at the back of the room.
It seems we were to cast magic from about 15 meters away from the targets. You'll aim your magic at those 5 targets over there. Your specialty was fire magic, correct? Any fire magic you're most proficient with is fine. The evaluation points are the time it takes to strike all 5 targets and the distance from the center of each target. Time will be measured from when I say, begin. Begin! Claria raised both her arms, and immediately 3 flaming arrows appeared in the space in front of her arms, flying towards 3 separate targets and striking them in the center. It seems she had prepared the spell before the start signal. I wondered if that wasn't against the rules. About 8 seconds after she cast the first spell, 2 more flaming arrows appeared, flying towards the remaining 2 targets. They both hit the center. Looks like she couldn't cast all 5 simultaneously. There was no stop command. Claria turned to the examiner, who then, flustered, said, "That's enough." Amazing! What was that? No way! The examiners seemed impressed. Indeed, Claria's magic had improved dramatically compared to when we first started. Once she understood that magic was all about imagination, she would lie on top of the luggage during carriage rides, casting spells towards the sky whenever she had a moment. This must be the results of that. The examiners gathered and seemed to be discussing something. They were probably assessing the earlier violation. All right, Ria's magic evaluation is complete. Well done. Next, Alan, let's get your magic evaluation done as well. It seemed the early start was deemed acceptable, so that's allowed. I stood in front of the targets just like Claria. Begin. As soon as he finished speaking, or even before, 5 flaming arrows appeared in the space in front of me, flying towards the targets. Perhaps because I imagined them moving several times faster than normal flame arrows, they struck the targets at an astonishing speed. It took less than 2 seconds from spell activation to impact. How's that? That has to be the fastest, no matter how you look at it. Huh? No, that's enough yet? Was the arrow appearance a bit too fast? I looked at the examiners, and they were frozen. Oh, that's enough. They didn't measure it properly, but I guess it's fine. All right, next, we'll conduct Alan's swordsmanship evaluation. Again, the examiners gathered and seemed to be deliberating. They appeared to be arguing about who would be my opponent. Finally, an opponent was decided, and one examiner stepped forward. Ready? Begin. The examiner didn't move. I decided to observe first and remain still as well. Still no movement. Since nothing was happening, I took a step forward. My opponent took a step back. I tried another step forward. My opponent stepped back again. He's not scared, is he? I took one more step forward. Again, my opponent stepped back. This was getting annoying. Should I try one of my basic charge combos? It's a technique where I charge at the opponent and deliver a 3-hit combo. But despite being a charge, it doesn't leave many openings. On the other hand, it also lacks decisive power. I feigned a step forward just like before and activated the combo. I charged at the opponent, using the momentum to powerfully slash upwards with my wooden sword. The second strike, and that's when I realized the first strike had already knocked his wooden sword away. I had no choice but to place my wooden sword against his neck. That's enough. All right, that concludes the evaluation test. We'll inform you of the results later. Please wait near the guild reception desk. That ended surprisingly quickly. I returned to the guild with Claria. That test was good enough, right? I don't think there's any other way to do it. Yeah, you're right. All the examiners returned to the staff room. Hey, who are those guys? And you were too scared. What was that last match? No, Kenny was certainly scared, but that footwork and sword swing were real. More than that, the magic, that's not just amazing level. I know someone who's top tier even in the Magic Guild, and their flame arrow is dozens of times less powerful than that. So, their self-declaration was actually correct. No, at least for magic, their ability is even beyond that. Honestly, I can't imagine there are people more skilled than them. Indeed. So, what about the rank evaluation? We, former B ranks, were thoroughly beaten. We can't not acknowledge them. So, it's unanimous then? They're C rank. No objections. About 20 minutes after Claria and I waited at the guild, the receptionist from earlier came over. Alan-san and Ria-san have been recognized as C-rank adventurers. Please come to the reception desk for your guild cards. Here are your guild cards. Please carry them with you at all times. If you lose your guild card, there will be a penalty of 1 large silver coin for reissuance, so please be very careful. We were handed copper plates, about 15 centimeters wide and 10 centimeters tall. They had the Adventurer's Guild mark, registration number, names, date, and C-rank engraved on them. That concludes your registration. Do you have any questions? C-rank means we don't have to take a job for about 7 months, right? Well, yes, that's true, but your rank will keep dropping, you know. I don't really mind about rank, so it's fine. Don't mind. However, the guild truly hopes that adventurers of Alan-san's caliber will accept requests. Understood. Thank you very much. Oh. Shall we go, Ria? Willie? As we were leaving the Adventurers Guild, I made eye contact with the female adventurer passing by. She had quite sharp eyes. The moment she shifted her gaze to Claria, her expression turned to shock. Her ladyship, Claria! Claria looked dumbfounded for a moment, but then her face also changed to one of surprise. Elna, why are you here? Her ladyship, Claria, thank goodness you're safe. Ria, I don't care about the details, but you're attracting a lot of attention. Something was getting lively, so I tapped her shoulder to make her realize. The surrounding adventurers were looking our way, wondering what was happening. You, who are you? Don't touch her so casually. The female adventurer said to me, putting her hand on her sword. Elna, it's all right. Let's change locations. For now, let's go to Kator's armory. I have to return this armor and give Claria's armor to her too. I could pretty much guess who this Elna woman was from the current conversation. It definitely wasn't a see-you-later kind of relationship, and Claria probably had a lot to talk about with her. There must be things she didn't want me to hear. I think it would be best for the two of them to talk it over somewhere privately. Kator's armory was very close, so we walked in silence, the 4 of us. We entered the store and went to the counter, and Zark called out to us. Yo, you're back fast. How was the test? Oh, I became C-rank. That's amazing, as expected. Yeah, well, could you help me take off this armor? I still don't quite get it. Okay. Hey Zark, is my armor also this much of a pain to put on and take off? No, don't compare that armor to this one. Yours is top-grade leather armor, you know. It's much better. You can easily put it on and take it off by yourself. Is that so? I'm relieved to hear that. Ria, what are you doing after this? I'm heading back to Mr. Tao's mansion, but you have something to talk about with her, right? If you're stopping somewhere, I can give you some money. I'll come back with you. Really? Well, I guess we can just borrow a room. Speaking of which, I also have to make sweets, and I can't stay another night at Mr. Tao's house, so I need to secure an inn somewhere. It looks like it's going to be a pretty busy day. Zark, then I'll leave the armor to you. I'll pick it up in 3 days. Got it. Leave it to me. We walked towards Mr. Tao's mansion. Claria and Elna walked a little behind Willie and me, whispering about something. Of course, if I enhanced my hearing, I'd be able to hear them, but I didn't want to be so rude. We arrived at Mr. Tao's mansion. Willie, sorry to ask, but could you call Jonas-san if he's free? Understood. Jonas-san came right away. Excuse me for calling you. Actually, Ria happened to meet an acquaintance at the Adventurers Guild, and it seems they have a lot to talk about. If it's not a problem, could we let her into the room Ria is borrowing? Of course. Our guests are our guests. I'll have tea prepared immediately. Thank you. Sorry to trouble you. Then, Ria and Elna, go talk in the room. Understood. Alan, thank you. It's nothing. Alan-san, you went to the Adventurers Guild, so I presume you registered? Ah, I apologize. I hadn't mentioned it. Yes, Ria and I just registered. By the way, what rank did you achieve? We were both told we're C rank. Oh, C rank right away. That's splendid, as expected. No, it's nothing major. More importantly, thank you for introducing us to such a good shop. Thanks to you, we were able to obtain the best quality goods at a great price. No, thank you for your purchase. Regarding that, I have a consultation for you, Alan-san. What is it? It's about the merchant caravan's cargo you returned to the master. We've been having trouble because only the master and Alan-san know the exact location of the bandit hideout, so we can't retrieve it. We were wondering if you would be able to assist us with the retrieval in the form of a nominated request if possible. Ah, you're right about that. Of course, I'll accept. However, there was quite a lot of cargo, so the means of retrieval. No, our men will handle the retrieval, so we were hoping you could take on the role of guiding them to the location and providing escort. I see. In that case, there's no problem at all. I accept. Then, we'll put out the request at the guild tomorrow, so thank you in advance. Understood. And regarding the sweets, if it's not a problem, I was thinking of starting on them now. What do you think? Of course, no problem at all. I'll guide you to the kitchen. I'm so curious about what ingredients they have. They're asking me to make sweets, so they must have sugar. But what if they only have sugar and flour? Then there's only so much I can make. Since I said cooking was my hobby, I can't make anything strange. I really said something unnecessary, didn't I?